We all know Undertale. If you're on my channel, if you've managed to stumble upon my weird corner of the internet, if you somehow got recommended this video and for some reason decided to click on it, you know Undertale. The fun, chipper, lighthearted video game. The game about making friends with monsters you'd kill without a second thought in any other game. The friendly RPG where no one has to die. But if you've played the game, you know there's more to it than just that. The chilling, silent atmosphere after you've mindlessly slaughtered every single monster in the underground. The horrific jump scare at the end of a No Mercy route when the manifestation of you, the sort of player who just has to see everything, demands to know why you ever thought you were the one in control. The terrifying laugh that starts that same route as Flowey, the primary antagonist, tells you, "You're not really human, are you? Let's destroy everything in this wretched world. Let's turn them all to dust."
That's a wonderful idea!
But that's not what I'm talking about today. I told you about the horror of the game's most horrific route, but what about the game most people played? The friendly RPG where, even if you killed a few monsters here and there, you were still largely a pacifist. There can't possibly be any horror to discuss there, right? Oh, can there? Can there ever? The body horror of Amalgamates. Terrible fusions of creatures that should never be seen. Creations from Dr. Alphys as she injects determination, a substance monsters are never supposed to have, into them on their deathbeds. The unsettling ambiance of her destroyed lab after years of never being used. Amalgamates left to roam free, to let the place fall into disrepair, to live the rest of their miserable existences with nary a moment's thought from the outside world, as everyone except Alphys thinks they're all dead. Even the pure terror when a voice you don't recognize calls you on the phone, calling you by your name for the first time in the game. You've always just been the human, but the new mysterious voice contacts you by your own name. Or at least, what you think to be your own name. But none of that is what I'm talking about either. Undertale, throughout basically its entire runtime, has the same instantly recognizable visual style. Colorful, cartoony, even in the fights when it gets serious, going black and white, they're still levity. The characters are still exaggerated anime designs. The fights are still a Karaga-style bullet hell, and there's always the same 4-block layout. And to your knowledge, you, the player, are the only being in this universe that is capable of manipulating the save file. You're the only one who can close the game. You're the only one who can make, load, or delete saves. And you're the only one who's aware of the commands. There were occasional fourth wall breaks to give you a hint, but nothing that could break your immersion. And then, in what looks to be the final boss of the game, Asgore Dreamer does this. The mercy button. The thing you've been relying on throughout every single fight. The thing that no one should be aware of other than you. Asgore just used his trident to destroy it. And so, you have to fight him, to get close to killing him. But at the end, when he gives you the freedom to slay him, to leave his wretched world, you don't. You use a taped-together mercy button, and he thanks you. He knows you would rather live in the underground forever than take even a single life. You could get his wife Toriel, and the three of you could be a family once again. He hasn't had a family in so long. And he's happy. And you're happy. This might be a possibility. But instead... Flowey the Flower appears, for the first time since practically the beginning of the game, and he reminds you of something. What he said at the very beginning. In this world, It's kill or be killed. And with the power of the 6 human souls, he is nearly a god. A god with the power to crash your game. When you boot it back up, everything is different. The opening title plays, but instead of playing as normal, it glitches out, saying, "They all disappeared without a trace." And instead of an actual title screen, there's a new save. Player name, Flowey. LV, 9999. Location, my world. And at this point, we all know what LV stands for. Not level, love. Love, however, is an acronym. Level of violence. The more you kill, the easier it becomes to distance yourself. The more you distance yourself, the less you'll hurt. The more easily you can bring yourself to hurt others. When you enter, there's nothing but a black void, until you walk up and you see a save point. Save. Your one vessel of hope in this game. The thing you always go back to when it looks like trouble. You try to save, but instead, he deletes your save file, and in its place, tells you that he will save over your death, so you can watch yourself be torn to pieces, over and over and over. Forever. But you're determined, and you walk forward. You disobey his wishes. And in exchange, he shows you the true power of a flower and 6 souls. What follows is an absolute horror show, with Omega Flowey sending flies, vines, bombs, friendliness pellets, and literal finger guns to kill you. And when he kills you, which you're so thrown off by this that he must at least once or twice, you see an ordinary looking game over with the text, "This is all just a bad dream." Until he cuts in saying, "And you're never waking up! Ha 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 ha!" Do I even need to explain why this is terrifying? When I was a kid, this section fully stopped me from playing for multiple days on end because I was so afraid. One of the most effective ways to unsettle an audience is to have them get used to something and then pull the rug out from under them at the last second. Asgore had done that by destroying one of the buttons on the menu, but this takes it to a whole nother level. Not only has the layout completely changed, buttons are now appearing at random in his attack pattern, seemingly just to taunt us because he thinks we can't get help. And of course, the art style has been completely overhauled, jumping to a photorealistic image that looks like it would be more at home in some 10th grader's "graphic design is my passion" poster than it would be in the game that, I will remind you, looked like this 10 minutes ago. That's not even mentioning the strange face appearing on the monitor that replaces Flowey's head, or the way his eyes turn red and green like he's on acid, or the fact that if you look at them, the tube next to his head looks like the determination extractor, the very thing which gave Flowey life in the first place, or the fact that they make him look vaguely like Azrael, the Angel of Death, something that only just occurred to me now as I write this script, but makes perfect sense concerning that Azrael, spelled this way, is his real name, which I'm pretty sure he had forgotten up to this point. This is also not touching upon the fact that he's now able to use his 6 souls to save and load the game over and over, constantly save scumming so that you never get the chance to beat him. Because he has 6 souls, he's able to use slots 1 through 6, which has vast ramifications for Deltarune 4 and Chris having 3 save files, but that is horrifying for an entirely different reason that I am not going to discuss here. I also refuse to elaborate on the horrific aspect of the fact that he is clearly manipulating the souls to work against their will, as it's shown at the end of the fight that they don't want to be helping him, and if you pay attention, you can never repeat a human soul fight, meaning that they are aware of how many times you have died and are intentionally only fighting you once each. Plus, they will never drop you below 1 HP, meaning they'll never actually kill you, which is not dissimilar from how Azrael's true final boss fight ends. This fight must end, however. As I alluded to before, Flowey attempts to use the human souls to attack you. However, this will be his fatal mistake. At the end of each attack, you get the chance to call for help, and the souls stop attacking you, opting instead to throw in bits of green HP raising health. And after you defeat all 6, they team up, dropping his defense to 0, letting you destroy him easily. He tries to reload a save, but the souls are already free. They circle around him, destroying all of his power, ending his reign of terror, and winning the fight. In the end, we're given a choice. We can either attack Flowey, ending this once and for all, or we can show him mercy. And of course, we wouldn't have gotten this far had we been killing. Can't possibly understand why we're doing this. It requires us to spare him 13 times. But finally, in the end, he flees. And with that, we've reached the end of this one horrifying moment.